Sorry, there was some technical glitch. I would like to announce the results again. So, the third prize of the competition is being awarded to Team Aishwarya Nair. The second prize is being awarded to Team AJ Thorns with members Suswan Biswas and Boidoshya Bhattacharya. And the first prize is being awarded to Team UJ07 with the member Uday Joshi. My heartiest congratulations to all the winners. We will have our next speaker in a while. Till then, stay tuned. He has an experience of 27 years in the field of marketing, advertising, event management, and all round business management. Sir, you're a veteran in your field. Having such an exquisite experience, I'm certain there are various insights that you would want to share with the freshers. As a representative for many students watching the event with us, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for making space for us in your already full plate. I am deeply humbled and have much gratitude towards you. I'm sure there are many things that youngsters like me would like to learn from you. So, sir, without wasting any more time, I now pass the mic to you.
Thank you so much, Kartike, for a wonderful introduction which you have given for me. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And the entire team of Delve'21 and Sankalp, I would like to thank you all for the opportunity which you have given that I can share my experience with you guys. And I hope whatever I'm going to tell you today, it will help in your future too. Okay. Welcome all. Today, actually, what I would say, we are not here to gather only for some knowledge. Actually, we are not here for any gyan session. It's about sharing some experience and sharing some important tips or points which can help you in your future. Okay, because as you know, you are going to face a new world in a very coming near time, right? So will you allow me to share a presentation, a small presentation which I have prepared?
Sure,
Sure,
sir,
sir.
definitely. Go on.
Yeah, thank you. Just a moment. One second, it's uploading. Just a moment. Kartike, can you just little you can guide me from where I can upload my presentation over
Yeah,
here?
sure, sir. So there might be a logo where there is a logo of the video just to the right of that. There's a logo
Yeah,
for presenting.
yeah. There are three points which I'm seeing: your entire screen, a window, and a tab.
Yes, sir. So,
So you
so
can do entire screen and then you can move to the presentation.
yeah,
Okay. Again, there is no upload option I can see over here.
So you can send us the presentation and we'll present it for you. If that
there was one more very important factor.
कि we should have fun जो भी हम चीज करते हैं.
Absolutely right. Any other point? Any other person other than Kartike? No? Okay, let me tell you. See, it is not important that which industry you are going to work with. But the more important is you should work exactly there जहाँ पे आपका इंटरेस्ट है, जहाँ पे आपका पैशन है. इट डजंट मैटर कि आप जो है किसी पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री में किस डेजिग्नेशन पे काम कर रहे हैं, पर टिल द टाइम यू आर नॉट गेटिंग अ किक आउट ऑफ योर वर्क, आप उस काम को एंजॉय नहीं कर पाएंगे. And definitely you're not going to succeed in that till the time you're enjoying your work. Okay, can you move to the next slide? So what is the need is start thinking about your upcoming career from now onwards. जो ऑलरेडी फोकस्ड हैं वो तो सोच ही रहे हैं, जो कंफ्यूज हैं कहीं ना कहीं अपने फ्रेंड से उसको डिस्कस कीजिए, अपनी फैमिली से डिस्कस कीजिए, गूगल द मैक्सिमम ऑप्शंस. उसके बाद अपना एरिया ऑफ इंटरेस्ट देखिए, आपका इंटरेस्ट किस किस एरिया के अंदर ज़्यादा है, वेदर इफ़ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन अ मेडिकल इंडस्ट्री और इन अ गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर और इन अ मार्केटिंग फील्ड और इन अ इवेंट डिवीजन और इन अ रियल एस्टेट, वट एवर. अपना एरिया ऑफ इंटरेस्ट देखिए, and then accordingly you have to choose your path. All right. Then the third point is choose your career honestly. Honestly means it कि आप ऐसा ना हो कि आप सोच रहे हैं कि मेरा इंटरेस्ट जो है सपोज एक एक्स इंडस्ट्री में है, बट मुझे नजर आता है कि ज्यादा पैसा जो है कहीं ना कहीं वो आई बी गेटिंग इन अ टेली कम्युनिकेशन फील्ड. तो आप क्या करेंगे, अपनी खुद की चॉइस के साथ में कॉम्प्रोमाइज करके उस फील्ड के अंदर जाएंगे जिसकी आपको नॉलेज नहीं है. सो दैट इज लाइक यू विल बी चीटिंग योरसेल्फ. That shouldn't happen, because end of the day you're not going to succeed in that if you'll be compromising with your choice. Okay, the all points which I'm sharing with you, I have learned from my experience. और the most important thing, आपकी जो भी आप अपना करियर चूज कर रहे हैं उसमें स्टडी का लेवल जो भी जहां तक रिक्वायर्ड है, that you have to complete, because the moment I started my प्रोफेशनल करियर, उस टाइम पे इतने ऑप्शंस नहीं होते थे, बट आज की डेट में कंपटीशन बहुत है. कंपटीशन के साथ साथ जो स्टडी का लेवल है वो भी बहुत ऊपर तक जा चुका है. अगर आपको किसी पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री के लिए आपको मास कम्युनिकेशन की जरूरत है, डेफिनेटली यू हैव टू गो विद द कोर्स. अगर किसी पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री के लिए एमबीए रिक्वायर्ड है बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट में या फिर मार्केटिंग में या सेल्स में, व्हाटएवर, आपको एमबीए वो करनी ही पड़ेगी. इसके बाद नाउ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर इज, कैन वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड? The most important factor is keep your focus. Can you click one more time? Towards the right path. Okay. Now, these are the key factors to choose your career. First of all, your interest. आपको अपने आप से खुद एनालाइज करना पड़ेगा कि आपका इंटरेस्ट किस फील्ड में है. उसके बाद नेक्स्ट फैक्टर है पैशन. कौन सा काम ऐसा है जो आपको लगता है कि आपको किक देगा. It doesn't matter. You can go for a wildlife photography. You can become a painter. It doesn't matter. The whole point is कि आपको किस चीज से किक मिलती है. You'll feel like I'll be completely satisfied. उसके बाद आती है एबिलिटी. आपकी जो अपना पैशन है, अपना जो इंटरेस्ट है, आपको ये भी एनालाइज करना पड़ेगा whether you have that ability within yourself or not. Then skills. Are you uh, are you already loaded with all the skills which are required for that particular industry? If not, then definitely you have to go with a particular course which are already available in the market. Okay, आप बहुत सारे institutions हैं, you have to complete your course which is relevant to your respective field. Then the values. What are the values you are keeping with you for that particular field, for your career? Then education. Have you already completed your education which is required for that? उसके बाद the most important two factors is your One is your attitude and your personality. Are you carrying that attitude or that personality which is required for that respective field or that particular designation which you are aiming for? वो एटीट्यूड और पर्सनालिटी का अगर मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल दूं कि सपोज आप अगर आप किसी कंपनी में सोच रहे हैं कि मुझे इस कंपनी के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट या सीईओ लेवल तक पहुंचना है, बट एटीट्यूड आपका आज भी वो ये कह रहे हैं नहीं यार देखी जाएगी, सो डू यू थिंक कि विल यू बी एबल टू अचीव दैट? आई डोंट थिंक सो। आपको अपने करियर के बिगनिंग से ही अपने एटीट्यूड में, अपनी पर्सनालिटी में वो वो ऑरा मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा। ओके, कैन वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड? नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट माय प्रोफेशनल फुटप्रिंट्स। ये आपसे शेयर करना इसलिए ज़रूरी है बिकॉज आई एम 27 years experience. I have worked with 3 different countries. I started my career in 1994 on a very small designation. I started with the Genesis holiday makers, exotic holiday makers. उनके साथ में एज अ बिजनेस ऑफिसर मैंने स्टार्ट किया था अपना करियर। इसके अंदर मैं भी जैसे एज आई टोल्ड यू दैट आई एम ऑल्सो फ्रॉम द सेकंड कैटेगरी। आई यूज टू बी वेरी मच कंफ्यूज, मुझे लाइफ में क्या करना है। आई वॉज नॉट क्लियर अबाउट माई सेल्फ। सो आई जॉइन दैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और उसके साथ में मैंने एज अ बिजनेस ऑफिसर स्टार्ट किया एंड आई वाज सेलिंग टाइम शेयर। आपको पता है टाइम शेयर क्या होता है? टाइम शेयर एक इंडस्ट्री है जहां पे 99 ईयर्स का हॉलीडे पैकेज सेल किया जाता है। मैंने 1 साल तक उसमें उस इंडस्ट्री में जॉब किया। मेरी लाइफ की पहली क्लाइंट मीटिंग थी। आई वॉज सिटिंग विद माई क्लाइंट, आई क्लोज द डील एंड माई कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल वॉज बिल्कुल स्काई लेवल पे था। बट उसके बाद मैं एकदम से बिल्कुल ज़मीन पर आकर ऐसा गिरा कि उसके बाद से मेरे से कोई क्लोजर्स नहीं हुए। दैट वॉज माई वेरी फर्स्ट जॉब। आई वॉज वेरी मच डिसअपॉइंटेड। बट वन डे आई सेट अलोन एंड आई वॉज थिंकिंग कि क्या गलत हुआ मेरे साथ। देन मैंने थोड़ा अपने आप को फिर एनालाइज किया। आई थॉट नो, दिस इज नॉट द इंडस्ट्री। बेसिकली मैं शायद कंफ्यूज था, मैंने जल्दबाजी में कुछ भी ज्वाइन कर लिया, बट रिजल्ट वही हुआ जो नहीं होना चाहिए था। हाँ, द बेनिफिट, मैंने उसमें से 1 साल का एक्सपीरियंस गेन किया और कुछ लर्निंग्स मिली। देन आई मूव टू प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल। सबको पता है प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल कितनी बड़ी कंपनी है, राइट? मैं प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल में गया। प्रॉक्टर एंड गैम्बल में आई स्टार्टेड एज अ मार्केटिंग एग्जीक्यूटिव। आई वॉज हैंडलिंग 2 प्रोडक्ट्स, ईजी एंड पेंटीन। वहाँ से मैंने एक्टिवेशंस सीखे, प्रमोशनल एक्टिवेशंस ब्रांड्स के कैसे होते हैं। देयर वाज अ टीम ऑफ 12 पीपल हु यूज्ड टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट फ्री सैंपल्स एंड मैं उन सब के ऊपर लीड करता था। एंड आई यूज्ड टू बैक चेक होता है कि पीछे से जाके चेक करना कि वेदर दे आर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग इन अ राइट वे और नॉट। क्योंकि बहुत से लोग ऐसे भी होते हैं अपने बैग में जो है वो पैकेट घर डाल के बैग में डाल के घर चले जाते थे। तो मेरे को कंपनी से वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मिली हुई थी कि एक्टिवेशन शुड बी इन अ स्मूथिंग वे। तो मैं उस चीज़ को देखता था। बट अगेन अगेन वो मुझे लगा कि दैट इज नॉट माई कप ऑफ टी। उसके बाद कहीं जाकर आई डिसाइडेड कि मेरा राइट पाथ क्या होना चाहिए। आई सैट विद माई फादर, आई डिस्कस विद हिम बिकॉज ही न्यू, उन्होंने मुझे बचपन से देखा था। वो जानते थे कि कहीं ना कहीं मेरे अंदर कुछ क्रिएटिविटी है, मेरे अंदर एक कन्विंसिंग पावर है जो मैं क्लाइंट के साथ बैठता हूँ तो क्लाइंट को कन्विंस कर सकता हूँ। ही सजेस्टेड मी to start my career with an advertising agency. So I joined a very prominent advertising agency, Vivid India, which is located in Rajendra Nagar, Rajendra Nagar, Delhi में। उनके साथ मैंने अपना करियर स्टार्ट किया अगेन एज अ मार्केटिंग एग्जीक्यूटिव। बट होल डे मेरा क्या होता था, आई यूज टू मीट माई क्लाइंट्स फॉर देयर एडवर्टाइजिंग नीड्स, फॉर देयर प्रमोशनल एक्टिविटीज। बट शाम को जब मैं ऑफिस आता था, आई यूज टू सिट विद अ ग्राफिक डिजाइनर। मुझे ऐसा लगा कि जो मैं ग्राफिक डिजाइनर को एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ, समहाउ ही इज अनेबल टू कम अप विद द राइट आउटकम उसमें से। अगेन आई सैट अलोन, सोचा क्या करना चाहिए। देन आई डिसाइडेड कि नहीं, मुझे ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग का कोर्स खुद ही करना पड़ेगा। मैंने खुद अपना ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग का कोर्स किया। उसके साथ अब मैं क्लाइंट से मॉर्निंग में मीटिंग करता था, रात में बैठ के अपने आप वो डिजाइन प्रिपेयर करता था एंड द आउटकम वाज ट्रिमेंडस। उसके बाद उस एडवर्टाइजिंग के साथ एजेंसी के साथ मैंने 5 years स्पेंड किए, एंड दैट वाज अ वेरी बिग टर्न आउट फॉर माय एंटायर करियर। ये सब मैं आपको इसलिए बता रहा हूँ कि स्टार्टिंग में बहुत से ऐसे लोग होंगे जो कहीं ना कहीं कंफ्यूज होंगे, बट आप जब अपने आप को खुद एनालाइज करेंगे कि आपका इंटरेस्ट कहाँ है, आप अपने आप से उस डायरेक्शन में मोल्ड हो जाएंगे। आफ्टर दिस एडवर्टाइजिंग एजेंसी, उसके बाद आई गॉट अ वेरी बिग ऑफर फ्रॉम टाटा। टाटा बीपी सोलर, आपने अगर नाम सुना हो, बीपी सोलर इज अ ब्रिटिश कंपनी एंड टाटा के साथ उसका मर्जर है। तो टाटा बीपी सोलर से आई गॉट अ वेरी गुड ऑफर। दे यूज्ड टू बी माय क्लाइंट बाय द वे। उनके मैं टाइम पे उनके एडवर्टाइजिंग एंड प्रमोशन एक्टिविटीज मैनेज करता था, एंड वहाँ से मिस्टर पंसेकर ने ही इनवाइटेड मी टू जॉइन देयर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन टाटा बीपी सोलर। आई वेंट बैंगलोर, मेरी वहाँ से ट्रेनिंग हुई। मैं 2 साल के अंदर मेरे को गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर्स में बहुत मीटिंग्स करने का मौका मिला ऑन हायर डायरेक्टर लेवल तक में। इट गेव मी अ वेरी गुड एक्सपीरियंस। वो सारा सोलर प्रोडक्ट्स पे लेके था, उनकी सारी मार्केटिंग, उनका पूरा इंस्टॉलेशन, एवरीथिंग आई यूज्ड टू हैंडल। Right after that, I got another opportunity in China. I went to Harbin. मैं हर्बिन में 2 साल रहा। वहाँ पे आई वॉज इन ऑटोमोटिव इंडस्ट्री, बट मेरा एरिया ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, मेरा एरिया ऑफ वर्किंग बिल्कुल वही था, मार्केटिंग एंड सेल्स। वहाँ पे भी रहकर मैंने इंडिया, ब्राज़ील एंड पाकिस्तान, ये 3 कंट्रीज़ का बिजनेस हैंडल किया। उनकी पूरी मार्केटिंग इन तीनों कंट्रीज़ में चाइना में रहकर पूरी मैनेज की। एंड द मोमेंट आई केम बैक इन 2006, अगेन that was my another turning point towards my career, because I got an opportunity with an event agency जहाँ से मेरी इवेंट की जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई, विच इज गोइंग टिल डेट। नो मैटर, अभी मैं एक रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री के साथ काम कर रहा हूँ एज ए वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, बट 2006 से लेकर 2018 तक आई वॉज इन इवेंट इंडस्ट्री। एंड मैंने, शायद आप कितने भी बड़े लेवल का इवेंट आप सोच सकते हैं, मैंने वो उस लेवल का इवेंट किया है। In 2012, I went to Dubai. Dubai, I joined a company. I was heading that organization as a director, sales and events and marketing. वहाँ से मेरा दुबई में करियर स्टार्ट हुआ। After 4 years, I started my own company in Dubai. और वहाँ पे मैंने ड्रीम थिएटर, विच इज़ एन अमेरिकन मेटल बैंड, उनका पूरा एक कॉन्सर्ट ऑर्गेनाइज किया, विच वॉज अ पार्ट ऑफ अ वर्ल्ड टूर। तो उनका दुबई एंड मुंबई, these 2 events was done by me, and that was like a dream comes true, बिकॉज दैट काइंड ऑफ इवेंट, वो किसी भी एक इवेंट प्रोफेशनल का एक सपना हो सकता है, उस ग्रैंड स्केल पे एक कॉन्सर्ट को ऑर्गेनाइज करना। 2018 वहाँ पे रिसेशन स्टार्ट हुआ, बिजनेस में लॉस हुए वहाँ पे, बिकॉज होता है, कोई बात नहीं, जब रिसेशन आता है तो हर इंडस्ट्री पे फर्क पड़ता है। डेफिनेटली मेरी इंडस्ट्री भी उससे इफेक्ट हुई, एंड आई क्लोज डाउन माई माई एंटायर ऑपरेशन वहाँ पर दुबई के अंदर। आई केम बैक टू इंडिया। बिजनेस से वापस एक जॉब में आना थोड़ा सा पिंच होता है, बट नेवर गिव अप, मेरे साथ वो एटीट्यूड था। आई जॉइंड अनदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एज अ हेड ऑफ द कंपनी। अगेन मैं यहाँ पे भी अपने प्रमोशनल और इवेंट करियर को वापस से आगे मैंने आगे बूस्ट दिया, बट you know very well, in the beginning of 2020, the biggest disaster happened with the name of COVID. और इवेंट was the industry जो सबसे आखिरी में ओपन होने वाली इंडस्ट्री है, आप जानते हैं। इवेंट मीन्स गैदरिंग, एंड विद द कोविड गैदरिंग इज नॉट अलाउड एट ऑल। So one of my friend, he was running his own real estate company in Mohali. He called me up and he said, "Why don't you come here? तुम्हारे पास इतना एक्सपीरियंस है, सब कुछ है, सब अपने जितने भी फंडास हैं वो तो सब सेम रहते हैं, तो अब मोहाली आओ, यहाँ पे मेरी कंपनी को हेड करो।" तो आई वेंट मोहाली। मैंने मोहाली जाकर उनकी कंपनी को ज्वाइन किया। शुरू में मुझे भी थोड़ा लगा था कि क्या मैं रियल एस्टेट कर पाऊंगा, बट अगेन जो मुझे अपने आप को फिर एनालाइज करके मिला कि हमारे लाइफ के जो भी फंडास हैं, प्रोफेशनल करियर के जो रूल्स हैं, दैट विल रिमेन सेम। मुझे अपने सारे एक्सपीरियंस को बस एक इंडस्ट्री में चेंज करके वहाँ पे अप्लाई करना है, एंड आई सक्सीडेड। टुडे आई एम हैंडलिंग 2 projects in Mohali. One is a 50-acre project, residential project, जिसका पूरा सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग I am handling over there with a team of 52 people. सो मैं आपसे ये सब शेयर इसलिए किया है अपनी लाइफ का एक्सपीरियंस के लाइफ में बहुत सारे अप्स एंड डाउन्स आते हैं, बट इफ यू आर गोइंग विद योर राइट पाथ, राइट चैनल, देन आपको आगे बढ़ने से एटलीस्ट कोई नहीं रोक सकता. कैन वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज? Okay. So now we are talking about the key to your success. So as I told you कि आपको मेरी ओवरऑल जर्नी से जो मैंने आपसे शेयर किया उससे आपको यही देखने को मिला कि आपके पास जो भी कैपेबिलिटी है, आपके पास जो भी स्किल्स हैं, आपके पास जो भी अपना टैलेंट है, इट डजंट मैटर whichever industry you're working with, just apply them. मेरा ग्राफिक डिजाइनिंग, मेरा सेल्स, मेरा मार्केटिंग, मेरा मीडिया स्किल्स, ये सब चीज़ आज भी मैं अपने रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री के अंदर अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ और मेरी हर चीज़ मुझे उसमें हेल्प करती है. मेरी डिज़ाइनिंग आप सोचते होंगे रियल एस्टेट में कैसे हेल्प करती है. सारी एडवर्टाइजिंग, सारे इवेंट, सब चीज़ जो है वहाँ पर मैं खुद से मैनेज करता हूँ अपने आप से. ग्राफिक डिज़ाइनर अगर साथ बैठता है, उनको वो आज भी कई चीज़ों में हैंग कर जाते हैं, स्टक हो जाते हैं, वहाँ मेरी गाइडेंस काम आती है उनको. ओके. इसके बाद एक छोटी सी स्टोरी मैं आपसे एक और शेयर करना चाहता हूँ, बट आई एम अनेबल टू सी द प्रेजेंटेशन. इट्स वैनिश्ड. या आरव, कैन वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड? ओके. ये स्टोरी मैं आपसे एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्टोरी शेयर कर रहा हूँ, विच विल गिव यू अ वेरी बिग एंड गुड लर्निंग. वंस अपॉन अ टाइम एक एक कैरेक्टर, एक इंसान था जो अपने कॉलेज में बहुत ही सक्सेसफुल था, बहुत ही टैलेंटेड था, बहुत लोग उसको वहाँ पे फॉलो करते थे, बहुत ब्रिलियंट स्टूडेंट था, हर तरह की एक्टिविटीज में एग्री रहता था. बट वंस ही कंप्लीटेड हिज ग्रेजुएशन, ही फेल्ट लाइक ही इज अ सुपर हीरो और उसको तो जॉब फटाफट से मिल जाएगी. बट उसके बाद जब उसको बहुत सारे रिजेक्शन मिले, जब वो अपने प्रोफेशनल करियर में गया, उसके बाद ही वॉज वेरी मच डिसअपॉइंटेड. उसको समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि मैं क्या करूं, मुझे इतने रिजेक्शन मिल रहे हैं, मुझे लग रहा था कि मुझे तो जॉब बहुत इजीली मिल जाएगा, बट ही डिडंट गेट दैट. ओके. अब बहुत डिसअपॉइंटेड होके देन ही डिसाइडेड कि नहीं यार, इतने रिजेक्शन होने के बाद तो मुझे लगता है कि आई वाज रॉन्ग, मुझे शायद अपने घर लौट जाना चाहिए, मुझे शायद कोई जॉब नहीं मिलेगी. तो दैट गाय ही वाज गोइंग बैक टू हिज होम. सडनली रास्ते में उसको एक चर्च के ऊपर ही सॉ अ नोटिस. उसके ऊपर कोई एक बिल होता है, जो एक स्टिक बिल होता है, वो लगा के गया था एंड इट वाज क्लियरली रिटन के किसी XYZ प्लेस के ऊपर किसी डिजाइनर की जरूरत है. उस डिजाइनर की जॉब को देखकर उसे लगा कि यार क्या मैं डिजाइनिंग कर पाऊंगा. उसने कहा अब चलो कोई बात नहीं, लेट्स ट्राई, वैसे भी मेरे को रिजेक्शन तो मिलना ही है. उसने उस नंबर पे कॉल मिलाया. कॉल मिलाने के बाद वो वहां पे जब पहुंचा, उस कॉल मिलाने के बाद उसको खाली इंटरव्यू के लिए बुलाया ही नहीं गया. जब वो वहां पे इंटरव्यू के लिए पहुंचा, उसको सिलेक्ट भी कर लिया गया. ही गॉट द जॉब and he was very much happy. He was literally flying in the air कि yes, this is my time to prove something. उसको नेक्स्ट डे ऑफिस आने के लिए बोला गया. नेक्स्ट डे he was बहुत सारे अपने ड्रीम्स के साथ में he was making a castle in the air कि वो मेरा वर्क स्टेशन will be that kind of, and मेरे पास ये होगा, वो होगा, and that kind of workplace I'll get and I'll prove myself. बट नेक्स्ट डे जब उसको वहां पे पहुंचाया गया, उसको लिटरली 3 लेवल बेसमेंट में लेके गए, जहाँ पे डार्क और डार्क और डार्क होता जा रहा था. ही वॉज वेरी मच डिसअपॉइंटेड, ये मुझे कहाँ ले आया गया. जब वो अंदर पहुंचा, एकदम शैबी सा रूम, ये जो आपके सामने इस टाइम पिक्चर है, ऐसा एक शैबी सा रूम, एक लाइट, सिर्फ एक छोटा सा बल्ब चल रहा था एंड आसपास लिटरली छोटे छोटे माउस, रैट्स होते हैं ना, दे वर रोमिंग अराउंड. अब उसके सामने क्या ऑप्शंस थे कि यार क्या मैं इस चीज के लिए मैंने अपनी पढ़ाई की थी. अब उसके सामने 3 ऑप्शंस थे. या तो लीव द जॉब, द सेकंड ऑप्शन वाज कि मैनेज विद दिस जॉब फॉर सम टाइम, एंड मीनवाइल I will keep trying for another job if I'll get. उसका थर्ड ऑप्शन था कि whether I should accept the challenge or let's prove my ability with the given opportunity. अगर आप इन तीनों में आपके सामने ऐसा कुछ ऑप्शन होता, आप लोग क्या ऑप्शन चूज करते? क्या आप ऐसी जॉब छोड़ देते, या फिर उस जॉब के साथ सर्वाइव करते और दूसरी जॉब ढूंढते, या फिर उस चैलेंज को एक्सेप्ट करते?
Honestly, sir, I think it depends कि हमारी abilities कितनी है. If my interest and abilities lies in the career of designing,
Yeah,
I might even accept the challenge and
wonderful.
might
That
grow.
that that is the answer which I was expecting from you guys. Well done, Karthikeya. Can we move to the next slide? उसने उस चैलेंज को एक्सेप्ट किया, उसने जो उसके आसपास जितना भी एटमॉस्फेयर था उसने उसी को बेटर किया, उसी में से जो आसपास उसके रैट्स घूम रहे थे वहीं से उसने इंस्पिरेशन ली एंड ही क्रिएटेड अ कैरेक्टर जो आज भी पूरे वर्ल्ड में फेमस है, एंड द पर्सन नेम इज वॉल्ट डिज्नी. इट्स अ रियल स्टोरी ऑफ वॉल्ट डिज्नी एंड ही क्रिएटेड अ कैरेक्टर ऑफ मिकी माउस विद दोज रैट्स, वहीं से इंस्पिरेशन लेकर. इट्स नॉट कि आपको लाइफ में कोई भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले आप उसके साथ में आप जस्टिफाई नहीं कर सकते. द ओनली थिंग इज यू नीड टू एक्सेप्ट द चैलेंज. सो द होल पॉइंट ऑफ दिस स्टोरी वाज वॉल्ट डिज्नी ने अपनी लिमिट्स को पुश किया. सो वट एवर अपॉर्चुनिटी यू आर गेटिंग, डोंट गिव अप, जस्ट पुश योर लिमिट्स, राइट? सो दैट्स इट फॉर ऑल. आई होप मेरी स्मॉल जर्नी और ये स्मॉल स्टोरी से थोड़ा सा आपको इंस्पिरेशन मिला होगा. मेरा आपसे ये सब शेयर करने का होल पॉइंट यही था कि आई वांट यू गाइस टू एक्सेप्ट ऑल द चैलेंजेस, जस्ट push your limits till the maximum, take the challenges, concentrate on your studies, concentrate towards your goals, then no one can stop you. Trust me. I'm not an MBA, but आज की डेट में मैक्सिमम MBAs जो है वो मेरे अंडर काम करते हैं.
Thank you, sir. I think it was a great session.
Yeah,
Sir, I'm sure that many students were moved by your remarks and have a much clearer idea of what they aspire
yeah,
for. And
yeah,
I hope many viewers got inspired by your never give up attitude.
absolutely.
Also, sir, now we do have some questions for you from the YouTube
Please,
live stream.
please.
So, sir, the first question is that how important a role do you think marketing and sales play in the growth of a business?
See, marketing and sales, these two departments are very important key factors for any business, and they are like brother and sister. They work parallelly. All the marketing activities actually we normally design in a way so that it should help to the sales department. And sales department, you know very well, it's a bone of any company. If sale doesn't happen, then no company can survive. Then you know very well. So if you are thinking to move your career towards sales and marketing, then definitely you have to concentrate on MBA in sales and marketing with all the major points. You have to study all the major points and you have to go with the business management also. Alone, if you'll think like you can go with the only marketing department, then you cannot survive. Trust me. Today we have a lot of competition. Now in the marketing, the old old factors are now obsolete. Nobody is asking for that. The current time is completely digital. People are asking for digital marketing. Maximum sale is happening towards e-commerce. You know very well. Direct sale markets are closed. People are not moving in the market due to COVID. तो सेल्स के लिए अगर आज आपको कंसंट्रेट करना है तो आपको थोड़ा सा यू हैव टू कंसंट्रेट टुवर्ड डिजिटल मार्केटिंग आल्सो. ओके.
Okay, sir. So we do have one last question. So many people confuse marketing and advertising. How do you differentiate the two?
Both are absolutely different. Trust me. Advertising, there are two segments of advertising. One is ATL, one is BTL. ATL is above the line. Above the line is like where you cannot identify your audience, like whatever advertising you are seeing on radio, newspaper, television, outdoor hoardings. You cannot identify your audience, that who is watching it, right? But the second section is BTL, below the line. Below the line, where you can target your audience directly. You must have seen so many activities are taking place in the market, or in a way, in a open road area also. Small activities are taking place. Okay, that comes under the genre of BTL, because you are approaching your target consumer directly over there. Okay, so that is advertising. Now I'm coming to marketing. Marketing is not limited with advertising. Marketing is like you're putting up your publicity material on social media also. You're using online platforms. You're using on ground platforms. You are going with the various vehicle publicity medium also. You're going with outdoor media also, and you are entirely making a plan, like with the different mediums, like what where exactly you need to publicize your product. So marketing or advertising, both are completely two different things, but definitely again they are running parallelly. You can say advertising is a part of marketing.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
That was really enlightening.
yeah,
So I'd like to express my gratitude for taking the time out to accommodate us. It
yeah.
was great having you here with us.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank
Thank
you
you,
all.
sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
We will have our next speaker in a while. Till then, please stay tuned.
take over.
All right. Thank you so much, Karthike, and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are having a good time. And let me share a little bit. I prepared some slides as well. So I know this is the last one. So thanks first of all for inviting me to do this. I think it was personally always an interesting uh, time to reflect on one's own journey. You know, when we are made to visit a campus and speak to young minds like you all, it's a good opportunity for us to really reflect what all we have been through, and sometimes it's a great learning exercise for us. So thanks for that opportunity. I'm made to believe a lot of you are listening on and watching this on YouTube Live. So I hope this is not really a monologue. There is a lot of interaction, and you can have a lot of questions and comments you can share. So I thought, what is that I can share with all of you that can help your career take flight, right? Because at this stage of your life, you're looking at how to make uh, the right or the best start for your career, right? So this session is not going to be about me, it's going to be about you. I'm happy to contribute from my journey, from my real life experiences to all of you. And perhaps if you want to learn from some of these and build your unique perspective as you enter workforce, after your education, that will be a great, sense of accomplishment from a session like this. So, shall we dive straight in? Maybe a thumbs up can give me a
Yes, sir.
clarity.
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
sure.
definitely.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I know I'm fighting a very very challenging fight, because all the students have a choice. Should they be listening to this session, or should they be closing this session and going on to Netflix or Amazon Prime Video and spending their time there? So it's a tough call. So I'm conscious of that, and I wanted to make this interesting and not really boring. So I'm going to share few stories of my career, okay, and some real life stories and what I learned from them. Probably some of these could be interesting for you. Just to sort of add one more uh, pinch of excitement, hopefully, I'm also going to give you a task at the end of this session, and I'm going to select maybe one or two select students who I'm going to give a special prize. And this is going to be a bestseller book that I really love. So maybe one or two people who stay till the end of it and we'll do a quick activity with us. We will choose from them, and I'm going to ship a book to them so that this can also help. So I have three stories. One is about my early career. Another story is about how I think what helped me build a network and meaningful relationships in my career. And third story is where I want to talk about how can you really get better, as an individual. So my career started back in 2001 when I started my career in Citibank as a feet on street salesperson selling credit cards. And at that stage, what felt like an extremely challenging role, you know. So what I was doing is these days you get credit cards for free, right? Most of the credit card companies, in fact, they pay you to use credit cards now, right? But back then, having a credit card was something which was not a common thing. Only the elite or people who were with very well-to-do financial backgrounds would only be eligible to get credit cards in our country. So my role was to really sell credit cards to corporate customers, to employees working in different organizations, and they had to pay a fixed fee every year to get it. And and the general tendency was if 100 people were applying to get credit cards, only on an average 40 to 50 would end up getting one. So more than 50% people would end up getting a rejection letter from the bank that thanks for applying, but try next time, right? So how the world has changed. So it was an extremely tough job. Now when I reflect in the present, so what's the learning from all of this, right? In the present moment, whatever we feel is a struggle, or we feel that we are going through a adverse time, right? We feel bad, we get those kind of emotions that look at others, how comfortably they are able to cruise in their journey, and we are made to go through such difficult time, but when you look back from your career 10-20 years down the line and look back at that moment, you would see whatever is our struggle today is going to become a moment of glory in the future, right? So whatever I learned from that first job, those fundamentals that I happened to become the number one salesperson in the very second month in North India for Citibank sales. And what I learned from those customer interactions, those tough conversations and trying to do better in closing those numbers, is a foundational learning that I still I feel is a differentiator in my journey. Another lesson from that journey was, if you are wanting to transform yourself from your current state to a super successful state, right? It's not going to happen in the comfort zone. So was my role very, very comfortable? Absolutely not. Was I, so the learning there is, if you are in a challenging situation right now, feel good about it, right? And if you are in a comfort zone right now, that's a signal for you to start some kind of a change in your schedules, because if you feel that you're too comfortable in your day, then it's time for you to change something. And another learning was, let me tell you a quick story about one of the days that I was doing this job. So I used to stay in North Campus in Kamlanagar, Jawaharnagar area, and my office was in Connaught Place, right? And so what the strategy that I had taken was, either I could spend time traveling and go to companies in Gurgaon or Noida and then try and sell and achieve my numbers, or I could look at moving within Connaught Place area, which is going to save me time, right? So why most people did not choose to do that? Because that was one area which was already been tapped. So it was very difficult to go into a market where it has been already tapped, right? And then getting results from there. So one day I ended up going to American Express Bank. I was in Citibank. I went to American Express and started pitching in to sell credit cards of Citibank to Amex employees. And I ended up meeting one of the country managers of wealth management of Amex, who not only bought the card that I was selling, but offered me a job as well. So sometimes what you focus on grows. So many of my colleagues at those days felt that this region is not a good region for us to focus because it's already been tapped, right? But if you are focusing on not the problem statement, but the goal that you have, that can I create more opportunities from the limited constraints that I have, can I still go and be someone who can innovatively find a solution? Can that really work? So I think that's another learning, that shift your focus from, or not always looking at focusing on the problem, but figuring out what could be a solution to this. There are always solutions possible. My manager at that job used to tell me that, let's say, if you are in sales, everything that you are wanting to sell, right, always has a market, and there is a pitch to conversion ratio, right? So, and I think it's applicable to anywhere in life, right? So if you want to get into uh, another MBA institute after this, let's say an IIM Ahmedabad, right? How many people pitch to join that versus how many are able to close? It's all, everyone has a different ability to crack, right? Some people crack cat in the first attempt, some do it in the second attempt, some are not able to do it all. So we have to figure out, you know what we are really trying to achieve, and then is there a market to it, is there do we have capabilities for that? So that's one story and a few lessons around that. Moving on, in career, it's you will, probably later in life realize that uh, perhaps the most important element that you can focus on is building meaningful relationships, right? The relationships that you're forming with your peers right now, 20 years down the line, they're going to be, very, very foundational relationships. So how I built my professional network and how I really learned a lot and got a lot of exposure outside of my jobs was through working with a lot of organizations as volunteers. So I've worked with NASCOM, I've worked with United Nations volunteers, I've worked with the UN Global Compact, National HRD Network. So many of these organizations and communities exist, right? It is for us to be able to tap into that and offer to volunteer, and that's a great way for all of you to sort of start getting a lot more exposure than you can get in any one education institute, right? So I think it's time for you to start figuring out where are those opportunities existing. Start exploring the world. Today, digital maturity of internet and other platforms is so high that we can have a session like this wasn't possible, right? So a lot of the possibilities that exist today did not exist in the past, so make the most of this. One of the important learnings and through experience I have found is, the company that you keep is the single most important element for your success. So it's no longer just the five people that you spend most time with. It's also about the kind of content that you spend most time with. Who are you following on social media? What kind of content are you consuming? What kind of apps are you spending more time on, right? I learned something new yesterday, that all the communication about this event was largely on Instagram and not on any other platform. So that was something that I learned. But I think you need to be conscious of which platforms are you spending most time on. At the end of the day, these platforms also have deep learning around what kind of content they want to push to all of you. There are people deciding what trends should happen, and you end up seeing those trends. So can you be more conscious about spending your time wisely? Explore other networks like Twitter, where you will see a lot of business leaders extremely active. I would suggest, you know uh, this is something that I personally follow. Whoever I connect with in my social media platforms, I don't follow everyone, right? So I am very conscious of the people who I want to follow and I want to engage with, purely from a standpoint of learning from their experiences and engaging with them. Because otherwise, so many pieces of content get pushed to you. It's extremely hard for you to be conscious around what you consume, right? So I think Sangat matters. So be conscious on who you are spending your time with. Uh, invest your time with family. I think that's one of the set of people that we take for granted the most. I think there is a huge amount of learning that can happen from your families. I've learned a great deal from my mother, so would recommend you to not take them for granted. Another practical suggestion would be to do a lot of live projects. I know you're doing a 3-year program, right? So my suggestion would be that at least there should be 4 internships that you should do in a year at minimum, right? And at the end of 3 years, you will have 12 different organizations that you would have worked with, 12 different sets of people would have given you exposure, and you would have also got chance to work on very, very different areas of work, right? And let's let's do a quick exercise, or maybe a quick pulse check. If you were to choose between salary, a job role, and a company, because eventually you will take up a job and you'll start your career, right? If you were to choose only two, because not everybody gets everything, right? What would you prioritize out of these three? Can you send? Can you message in chat and let me know? So you have to choose two between salary, job role, and the company. What are those two things that you're going to pick up?
The first thing I would prefer would be the job role, and the next would come is company.
Sure. There are no right or wrong answers. These are all perspectives, but I'm just curious to know what will you pick. So I'll tell you a story about someone who was my classmate or my schoolmate. A lot of you are saying salary and company. Some people are saying job role and company. So this colleague or this friend of mine was in IIM Indore. We were in school together. He went on to do his MBA from IIM Indore. He got two job offers. One was a Citibank job offer, and this back in I think 2008 or 7, if I remember right. He was getting 14 lakhs from Citibank, and he got another job from Reliance Retail, which was at least 3.5 lakhs lesser, right? And those days, if you would have asked any person, people have, if you're getting a job at, let's say, 9 lakhs and the other one is at 13, 14 lakhs, it will be a very clear answer that I'm going to take that. Uh, both being big, large organizations, right? So the point I'm trying to make here is, uh, at the beginning of your career, don't stress too much on the money that you're making, because money is going to come to you automatically, because um, gone are the days where opportunities were very limited. Today there are opportunities, multiple opportunities existing for people who are talented and with skills, right? So many a times we make the mistake of falling for instant gratification, which is in terms of getting more money and a package, and we forget that this is short lived, but the skills that you will develop, and it's a combination of job role and company, right? It's not just one thing. I would say there is one more element to it, which is getting the right boss. That's the fourth dimension, right? If you work with the right set of people who believe in investing in you, in getting your skills developed, then I think that is when a foundation gets created. And if that happens, your growth will definitely accelerate a lot faster than your peers who would choose different tracks, right? So coming back to this So I think this was the second bit, and then the third one, now in my journey, and this is the beginning of ninth year for corporate shiksha, and we work with more than 200 large uh, enterprise customers. We operate both in India and Middle East, and our mission is to help professionals get better by learning from senior practitioners and corporate leaders, right? So in this journey, there are some personal lessons that I have that I can share with you that I would recommend that you reflect on. How can you really become a better version of yourself, right? At early in our career, we all compete with each other, right? So, uh, for instance, how let's say a Kartikeya in this group performs in his grades versus Ritika, or versus Dia, or versus any other colleague, right? That tends to be the focus, right? But later on in our journey, we will realize that all these things are insignificant. It's how are you doing? How's Kartikeya doing today versus yesterday? How's Ritika doing today versus yesterday? Right? That is the real comparison that we should be doing. Invariably, we are conditioned to compare, right? And it's hard for us to sort of break that conditioning, because uh, it will happen, in our families, in society, in relatives, in other peer groups. It's natural to compare how one student is doing versus another, right? We get admitted in a college based on a comparison of how well we scored, right? So that conditioning is hard to break, but the sooner you realize, uh, the better it is. So my realization is, we tend to be too focused on outcomes. Did I make the list? One. Did I top the class? Did I get that opportunity? Did I get the best job offer on campus? Right? Did I get the accolade from the principal of college? Did I get that scholarship? It's natural to focus on outcomes, but I think if we shift our focus from outcomes to action, outcomes chase us, right? Uh, and when we are too focused on outcomes, we tend to really not do justice to the action that is required to be done consistently. So that's a change in focus I would suggest. Another another learning is, we may be some of us may be a lot better than others, right? But at the end of the day, consistency matters, right? So how many of you would say you are good in maths? At least the faces that I see. Can you raise your hand if you feel that you're good in maths? I can only see four faces, and they don't seem to be raising their hand. So if let's just do a quick activity. Now I can see five faces. Thank you, Dia. It helps to see more faces. Let's just do a quick activity, and if you do 0.99 to the raised to the power 365, right? What would that be? And then at the same time, if you do 1.01 raised to the power 365, you would see that there is a huge difference. So in the short term, very little marginal difference in the very short term becomes a world of a difference in a year's time, right? So look at any habit that you want to form. Consistency is the name of the game. If you don't have consistency, and I'm not saying this from a point of view of preaching it, it applies to all of us, right? No matter what we want to do or achieve, if we are not consistent, we are not going to be able to see an exponential trajectory of ourselves. There are some people who we who we notice do extremely well. And if we see closely, we would see that their days have a rhythm. There are things that they would do as a ritual, as consistent routine, and those are the ones who get up early, who are the ones who are focusing on their energy. They're not just focusing on grades; they're also focusing on becoming more holistically well from body, mind, and soul. Right. So this all of this matters. And one of the things that I used to do initially in my career was to uh, look outside and define what I want to do. Right. I used to look at other people, like you probably may be looking at all the people who are coming in and talking to you. You may be visualizing what good looks like by looking at what they have done. Right. Uh, I used to do that in early in my career, but the realization is, when you look inside and you see what are you made of, how can you really work on yourself, how can you become a better version of yourself. That's the goal and not anything else. So those are few things that I thought in this very limited time I could share with you. There's clearly not a justice to what all you need to know or what all I can share, but I wanted to put a sincere effort to share some of these nuggets and experiences from my end. If you have any questions, I'm happy to speak with you and try and take an attempt at this.
Sir, I am sure many students were moved by your remarks and now have much clear idea what they aspire for. Now we do have some question for you from YouTube live stream. What was your first win in your profession that made you confident that you were doing the right thing?
Can you also tell me who has asked this?
Pratham Verma.
So, and can you say the question again? What?
What was your first win in your profession that made you confident that you were doing the right thing?
See, nothing motivates like success, right? When you taste external recognition, that is what makes you feel that you're doing something good. And I started, like I said, the first job was Citibank, and May of 2001 is when I started. And June of 2001, I was awarded the number one salesperson for North India in the credit cards this thing. So I got a very nice Peter England shirt, a blue color shirt, and then Citibank had a tie up with MTV those days, and I got a MTV T-shirt. So that was something, and I got recognition not only from my team. I met the chairman of our organization, and I think that is what made me uh, gain a bit more confidence that probably I was going in the right direction. But frankly, I would call out that it was at that stage still not very clear that I am doing something. These small moments of recognition only give you a little bit of enthusiasm, but there is never clarity that you're going in the right direction. So I'll be lying if I say I knew that I'm going in the right direction and I will do well. Every day was filled with a sense of adversity, a sense of self-doubt, that am I doing the right thing? I was comparing myself with other people who weren't working. I started working so early, where other people were still in college and I was working. you know I did not attend a single day of campus other than giving exams. So the only days I used to go to college was my exam days. And you have to have faith that things will work out in the long run, but you have to go with the flow. So that's what I would say.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next question is from Aviral Agrawal. In today's society of fierce competition, what would your advice be to a young person to set themselves apart from the crowd?
I think very, very simple, and it's very, very foundational. this is not changed in the past and now. So environments can change, competition can change, technologies can change, but our response to that really defines how we stand out. So there are two things. One, wherever you work, whatever you do, in any project are you part of, do people have to follow up with you on the work that you're doing, or are you someone who takes complete charge of it and people don't have to follow up with you, right? So if any one of you were working in my team, it will be a great differentiator in you that when I give you a task, I don't have to follow up and worry that whether she or he has done it or not. I will be confident that if I have given this task to, let's say, Radhika, um, or Dia, then I will be confident that they will be able to turn around and not only just do the work, but also if they are struggling, they will be fast enough to sort of come back to me and tell me that this is where I'm stuck. So a sense of ownership is what really differentiates, and also consistency. So one of my earlier points, you know, you may be a rock star one day, but all other days, if you are a below average performer, then there is very little, reward or recognition or respect for you. But if you are a consistent performer, that is what separates you from the rest.
Okay, thank you, sir. There was last question from Varun Gupta. What do you consider more important, job role or salary?
I would say none. My reflection at this stage is, it doesn't, all these things don't matter in the long run. What matters is who you work with, right? And if you will develop, I mean, looking at a job role is very restricting yourself, right? It's saying that I'm doing uh, the program that you're doing is a management program. So you say, I have done a management program, so I will stick to the job roles only in management, right? That only restricts your opportunities. You can explore the world and do so many other things. So I would say, uh, I would choose people. I would choose the team that I am working in. That's going to be the differentiator for me. Job roles can, at some stage of your life, you will have multiple capabilities. So it doesn't matter what role that I'm part of. It doesn't matter what organization I'm part of. It is extremely important what team I'm part of, right? I may be in the best organization, but if I don't work well in that team, I will, not find meaning, and I will not be able to sustain. We say Google is a great place to work, but there are a lot of people who leave Google and join startups. How and why that happens, right? So that will be a long or short answer. I think that will be my submission. We are all entitled to our view. I'm not saying this is the way you should look at it, but this is how I look at it at this moment. Uh, And one of the things with smart people is that they always evolve. They're not always fixated to one mindset. So maybe what you feel right now, you will change, and how you feel after 5 years may be very different.
And that was really insightful, sir. That's, it was great having you here with us, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. And now coming back to the giveaway, for those people who are still sticking around till now, they definitely deserve an opportunity of redeeming some kind of a reward here. So what I want you to do is, I want you to do a quick post on Instagram, because I know you're all on Instagram, and tell me what things that you learned from this session. What are things that resonated with you, and tag me. And I'm going to pick up, depending upon how many people respond, I'm going to pick up one or two people who I would like to give a bestseller book from two of my favorite authors. So if I get too many entries, then I'll pick up two people. If I get too few, then I'll pick up one person. And I will request all of you to sort of help me coordinate this so that I can get this delivered directly to their address. Sounds good?
Yes, sir.
And the book that I'm talking about is a book named Catalyst. It's written by an author, Chandrakant Moily, and another book is The Right Choice by Shiv Kumar. He is the group head strategy and business development for Aditya Birla Group. Shiv used to be CEO for Pepsi in India region, and Moily, who's no more, used to be CEO for many organizations and is a very celebrated author. I think both of these books have been very, very helpful to me. I would love to have all of you get a copy and probably invest in learning. All right, so that's it from my side, and have a great weekend.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, all the best. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now I will pass on the stage to the Ritika to wrap up the event for the day.
Thank you, Kartike. With that, we have come to the end of day one of Delve'21. And it's safe to say it has been nothing short of what all of us had expected it to be. We are highly grateful to all the speakers who spared some of their precious time to be with us here today to inspire and guide us in becoming better professionals and better leaders of the speaker. I hope all of you who were there with us throughout the day also enjoyed it as much as we did. And we will certainly hope for you to be with us here tomorrow as well. So it's from our side for today. We will be here tomorrow as well as 12 noon with great lineup of speakers to come and we can't wait for to join us. Thank you for staying tuned in.